Okay, everyone, this first meeting, Vicon, the IKI class, so we can continue to learn about the student development. In this meeting, we can learn about the cognitive development and motoric, yes. This one for a step of the children development. Maybe Miss Nichi can continue to start the present.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Labe. So can you make this like a slide share so I can read it?
Okay, from first slide. Yes. Okay.
No. From the second slide.
Okay.
Slide is already okay. So good afternoon, everyone. So we will start for this class. The topic for this class is about the that Mr. Labe already said to you before, that this is about the childhood development related with the cognitive development and motoric development. Yeah. So next, please. Okay, for the beginning of life, we can call it the newborn. So next slide. So do you reflect that for the newborn, God is like an automatic unlearned response. So sucking, swallowing, and grasping reflexes are present in a newborn. So as you can see in the baby, baby like to sucking their fingers in the mouth. That's the reflex. That can be called reflex. When we put our finger in their mouth, they will sucking, and sometimes they will take our finger to grabs, and that's the reflex called. Okay. So a baby's tendency when touch on the cheek, like I said before to you, that they will try to sucking our finger and to open the mouth and search for the nipple. So that's why we can say that the newborn is very dependent with the another person, because the rooting reflex is just sucking, and after that search for the nipple, because the nipple can give the baby drink, ASI, like a mother milk. Okay. So I already explained from the previous presentation from the previous day. There are three kinds or three types of the children. The first is infant. This is come from the first year, from the newborn until first years. We can call it infant or bayi. And after that, toddler from about 1 year to 3 years of age. We can call it a batita in Indonesia, bawah 3 tahun. And after that, the child span between toddler and teen. So the child, we can call it balita until anak-anak. So there are three types of the name of the children: infant, toddler, and child. Okay, next please. So we can directly learn about the physical development in infancy and childhood. We can see first about the developing brain, because from the brain, all of the body of the human will be connected with the brain. So the brain function is very related with the human condition. So for the maturation, biological growth processes that enable orderly changes in behavior. So some changes are genetic and some changes are due to the environment. So for the maturation, we can say it that some changes are genetic and some changes are due to the environment. And the most neurological growth is seen from age 3 until to 6 years old. Next, please. So we can see this is the neural development ya. At birth, the neural development atau sistem syaraf ya, perkembangan sistem syaraf, you can see in this slide is still very little development from the neural condition. And for the 3 months, the neural get connected each other. And after that, for the 15 months, the neural very connected each other and is very full for in the brain of the human for the 15 months.
Jadi ini koneksi neuronnya ya, Miss Nisha ya.
Yes, of
Ya,
course.
jadi koneksi neuronnya. Jadi sebenarnya ini sudah berkembang sejak mereka dalam kandungan ya, Dede ya. Jadi walaupun ini saat baru lahir sedikit, tapi sudah berkembang sejak dalam kandungan. Jadi kalau misalkan ibu-ibu ya di masa hamil, mereka memeriksakan kandungannya, nanti saat USG akan terlihat ya, jika di bagian otaknya itu sudah terbentuk koneksi neuron itu nanti akan berwarna lebih gelap dibandingkan jika tidak banyak koneksi, akan lebih terlihat otaknya, tetapi di sana lebih terang gitu. Nah, jadi semakin gelap warnanya itu akan menunjukkan bahwa sudah terjadi koneksi neuron. Jadi penting walaupun sejak dalam kandungan anak itu sudah diajak berkomunikasi, ada interaksi seperti itu. Oke, silakan Miss Nietzsche. Next slide.
Okay, next slide.
Yeah.
So we will firstly talk about the physical development in infancy and childhood, specifically on the motor development. And after that, we will talk about the cognitive development, and after that, back again to the motor development. Please, Mr. Label, for the next slide. Okay, for the motor development, this includes all physical skills and muscular coordination. Yeah. For the first time, baby will be try to learning to walk. Next slide, please. And we can see this figure in this slide about the motor development. Stages of motor development start from the 0 months old until 15 months old. For the 0 until 2 months old, baby will do rolls over, and after that, for the 3 months old, the head of the lift will be get until 90 degree when lying on stomach. So that's why mother of the baby will be do the tummy time. Tummy time is do the tummy baby on the like curse or on the like the bed, and after that the head will be head up until 90 degree. And after that, start from the 3 months old, baby can sit probe up, and the head will be steady on the around 4 until 5 months old. And after that, start from the 5 months old until 8 months old, baby can sit without support. So that's why this is starting to give the food, baby food for the baby, not only the milk for the baby for their feeding situation. And after that, start from the 6 month old until 10 months old, baby can stand holding on. So that's why they will grab anything around them to try to stand up. And after that, start from the 9 months old until 12 months old, baby can walk, but they still need help to holding on their environment like that. And after that, start from the 11 months old until 14 months old, they can stand alone well. And after that, they will try to learn walks well. And that's the starting to do the motoric development for the baby. Okay, next slide.
Jadi mungkin saya tambahkan ya, biar Bu Nice juga ada jeda. Sambil minum mungkin Bu Nice ya. Ya, jadi ini tahapan perkembangan motorik anak ya. Jadi sejak dia baru lahir sudah mulai perkembangan pertumbuhan, dan tahap perkembangan ini berlangsung kontinus ya, tidak bisa lompat-lompat ya. Jadi tidak bisa dari tahap rangka kemudian bisa berjalan langsung, tidak. Jadi ini bertahap. Nah, ini penting orang tua untuk memberikan support terhadap tahap-tahapan perkembangan motorik ini. Ya, misalkan di tahap awal tadi sudah dijelaskan ya, jadi dia istilahnya tummy time ya, bahasa ininya. Jadi kita bantu untuk dia tengkurap, kemudian dia belajar menggerakkan, mengkoordinasikan kepala. Karena di awal-awal di bulan kedua sampai ketiga ini, dia harus menyempurnakan otot dan saraf di bagian kepalanya untuk mampu menegakkan kepalanya gitu. Nah, ini singa tengkurap dia akan. Nah, mungkin kalau adik-adik pernah lihat boneka anjing-anjingan di mobil itu ya, yang kepalanya goyang-goyang ya, nanti akan seperti itu. Nah, ininya. Nah, kemudian di tahap berikutnya dia bisa dengan mandiri bisa tengkurap, kemudian balik lagi. Kemudian di usia 3 sampai 4 bulan sudah mulai bisa belajar duduk ya. Nah, walaupun belum sempurna. Nah, kemudian juga bisa duduk mandiri nanti di umur 5 bulan ya. Kemudian bertahap dia akan seperti dikatakan tadi memegang segala hal yang ada di sekitarnya untuk menjadi pegangan untuk belajar berjalan begitu. Nah, selanjutnya dia akan bertahap ya, pelan-pelan, kemudian juga melepaskan diri dari pegangan sehingga mampu berdiri sempurna sehingga nanti akhirnya mampu berjalan. Nah, ini secara ini berdasarkan waktu rata-rata, tetapi dalam kondisi tertentu perkembangan ini istilahnya tidak mutlak sesuai dengan jadwal ini ya. Itu tergantung ada beberapa faktor ya. Faktor pertumbuhan motorik dan perkembangan motorik, fisik motorik itu ada dipengaruhi oleh gizi juga ya, kematangan. Nah, itu juga mempengaruhi. Ada mungkin karena kan ada banyak perkembangan ya, ada aspek bahasa juga ya, aspek motorik. Nah, bisa dalam kondisi tertentu anak itu tidak lebih dulu di motorik gerak kakinya ya, tetapi mungkin bisa lebih dahulu di bahasanya. Jadi dia lebih cerewet dulu daripada bisa jalan dulu. Oke. Next, silakan Miss Nisha.
So we will talk about the cognitive development. Next, please. So the famous of the theory related with the cognitive development is from the Xiang Piaget. So you need to learn how to spell,
the name.
Yeah? Piaget.
Yeah. No Piaget. Yeah.
Yeah, not Piaget. Sometimes the student from the Faculty of Education will talk it. Yes, Miss, because Piaget said no, not Piaget. The name is Piaget. Yeah. So please remember how to spell this name because you will use this theory every time when you talk about the development, especially for the cognitive development. So Xiang Piaget is a pioneer in the study of development psychology who introduced a stage theory of cognitive development. So the keyword is a cognitive development that led to a better understanding of children's thought processes. Yeah, so the Xiang Piaget proposed a theory consisting of 4 stages of cognitive development. So we will learn about each stages, and you can check by yourself from your condition about this cognitive development. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, cognition. When we talk about the cognition, is related with all the mental activities associated with thinking, knowing, and remembering. So not only the thinking, but cognition is related with another thing, knowing and remembering. That's the 3 kind of the cognition activities. And after that, children think differently than adults do. So when you learn in the elementary school education, you need to try to understand that the children's cognitive development is related different with the adults' cognitive development. So that's why the children's think condition is different with your think condition. Okay, next slide.
Jadi penting ya. Jadi berkaitan kognitif ya. Jadi bagaimana menghasilkan pemikiran, kemudian pengetahuan dan juga ada ingatannya. Jadi bagaimana seorang mengkoordinasikan semua pengetahuannya itu untuk nantinya akan berimbas kepada bagaimana mereka menyelesaikan masalahnya gitu ya. Dan juga nanti ini pentingnya bagi kalian mengetahui nanti kalian akan mengajar anak-anak pada apa namanya rentang umur 7 sampai 11 tahun tentunya akan memiliki apa namanya pemikiran yang berbeda dengan kalian. Nah, sehingga kalian harus memahami bagaimana pola pikir anak tersebut sehingga nanti bisa memberikan metode pengajaran yang sesuai dengan kebutuhan dan keinginan mereka, bukan kebutuhan dan keinginan orang dewasa gitu. Oke. Mudah-mudahan tidak salah ya Miss Nietzsche ininya ya, interpreternya ya.
Okay, for the next event you can be the interpreter for another sensei come to Faculty of Education, Mr. Labu. Okay. We can talk about the schemas, schemes, concepts or mental frameworks that people use to organize and interpret information. So when you have the situation, you will organize the last experience or the previous experience. And after that, you will interpret the information related with the previous experience. Sometimes this is called the schemas, a person picture of the world. So for the example, Mr. Labe used the hat, and in Balinese name is the udang. So I have the schemes, organize my interpretation information. That's the red hat in the Mr. Labe hat is udang. That's the schemes, picture of the world. That because I have the previous experience about the term of the udang. But when Mr. Labe used that hat in Japan or in the America, people doesn't have the schemes or mental framework related that the hat. So that's why the people will ask, why you use hat inside of the room? Why you use hat? The color is very wonderful, red hat. So they doesn't have schemes or pictures of the world related with the udang. That's we call schemes. Okay. And another thing, when we talk about the cognition, is related with the assimilation. So interpreting a new experience within the context of existing schemas. The new experience is similar to other previous experiences. So I will give you the explanation with the example later. Next, please. Accommodation. Adapting current schemas to incorporate new information. So this accommodation related with the adaptation about the current schemas to the incorporate new information. The new experience is so novel, the person's schemata must be changed to accommodate it. So for the next slide, we will talk about the example of the assimilation and accommodation. Next, please. Okay, you can see in this slide about the assimilation and accommodation. 2-year-old Jocelyn has learned the schema for dog from her picture books because her fathers give her dog's books. This is a dog that the father said. So Jocelyn can give the name that the picture is a dog. Next, please. So Jocelyn sees a cat and calls it a dog because the cat have the 4 foot. She's trying to assimilate this new animal into an existing schema. Her mother tells her, no, it's a cat, not a dog. So this is the assimilation because Jocelyn already have the schema about the dog from the picture from her book. But when she see the one of the animal with the 4 foot, she said, that's the dog. No, the mother give the revision and it's not dog, this cat. Next slide, please. Okay. Jocelyn accommodated her schema for 4 large animals and continues to modify that schema to include different kinds of dogs and cats in the neighborhood. Oh, Jocelyn tried to learn about the 4-foot or 4-leg animals. It's not only dog, but also cat. That can we call it accommodation. Accommodate the new schema, the new condition, the new experience from the previous experience, from the previous schema. For the 4-leg animals, not only dog, but can be cats too. That's why she will learn about the difference of the cat and the dog. Okay.
Oke, jadi mungkin sedikit menjelaskan, jadi asimilasi, jadi bagaimana pengetahuan kognitif itu terbentuk. Ya, jadi di sini kan di gambar awal ya, gambar pertama, jadi si bapak ini menjelaskan. Ya, jadi ini memberikan apa namanya informasi baru kepada si anak. Nah, jadi informasi baru bahwa yang namanya anjing seperti ini dengan cirinya seperti ini. Nah, jadi kemudian informasi ini tentunya nanti akan dia ingat. Nah, saat dalam kondisi tertentu dia melihat objek yang memiliki ciri-ciri sama dengan apa yang sudah dijelaskan oleh sang ayah, nah, maka dia bisa menyebutkan bahwa ini adalah anjing, kan begitu. Nah, tetapi di sanalah terjadi proses apa namanya persepsi awal ya, persepsi awal kemudian yang si ibu menjelaskan bahwa itu bukan anjing ya, memang dari ciri-cirinya sama seperti itu. Nah, kemudian dia akan mendapatkan informasi baru yang nantinya membedakan apa yang disebut dengan anjing dengan kucing dari ciri-ciri yang sama, apa yang membedakan. Nah, itu mulai lagi terbentuk skema baru terhadap informasi yang sebelumnya sudah didapatkan. Gitu. Nah, proses belajar seperti itu terus-terus terjadi. Gitu.
Okay, so we will talk about the first stage of the cognitive development from the Xiang Piaget. Is it called it with the sensory motor stage? Next slide, please. Okay, for the sensory motor stage, in Piaget theory, the stage are from birth to about 2 years of age. So the sensory motor stage is start from the birth until 2 years of age, during which infants learn about the world through sensory impression and motor activities. Child learn object permanence. For the example, we can explain on the next slide. Okay, for the object permanent, the awareness that things continue to exist even when you cannot see or hear them. Out of sight, out of mind. That's why when the infants, someone call infants, maybe the name is labe, 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 like that. The infants will give the response that, oh yeah, someone call me, or someone tell or speak the sound that's very familiar with me. So they doesn't need the object permanence to know that the name, his name is Labe, like that. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, object permanent study. 1-month-old babies allowed to suck on 2 pacifiers. Yeah, pacifiers to empeng. Yeah. You can see on that slide. Infants later shown the pacifiers look primarily at the one they were given earlier. Yeah. Next slide, please. And 5 months old, reaction to numerically impossible outcome are studied. So, next slide, please. Step 1, we can do the experiment. Maybe you can do this experiment to another infant in your environment, like your neighborhood or your brother or your sister. For the step 1, objects are placed in a case. Yeah, you can see these 2 bears sit down in the curtains, and after that, step 2, a screen come up. So the baby cannot see the 2 bears because the screen come out. They are one of the barriers to see the bears. Okay. Step 3, 1 object is removed in front of child. Yeah. So the screen going slide, and after that, 1 object can see by the babies. And next slide. A possible outcome, screen drops and revealing 1 object, another 1 object. Next slide. Step 4, impossible outcome, screen drop and revealing 2 objects. So in this situation, infants or baby will remember that beside of the screen or beside of the barriers, there are still two objects of the bear dolls or the baby bears dolls. That's why sometimes baby, when we do close the basket of their toys, they will try to open the basket, and after that try to remember what kind of the toys inside of the basket. This is called sensory motor stage, because they already see, they already hear, they already touch something that they can get, and after that when this object disappear, and after that give the screen in front of the object, they will still remember that there are two objects beside of the screen. That's we call it sensory motor stage. It's very related with the sensory and motoric. Sensory is related with the penginderaan, you know, 5 sensory of in the body, like the eyes, like the ears, like the mouth, like the skin to touch, and after that the taste too. Okay. So for the next stage is pre-operational stage. In Piaget theory, the stage from about age 2 years old until 6 or 7 years old. Yeah, this is stage during which a child learns to use language. So the babies start from the 2 years old, they can speak with the sum of the vocabulary but cannot yet think logically. So next slide. So the baby start from the 2 years old until the 6 until 7 years old. We can call it like I already tell you before on the previous class. We call it egocentrism. Yeah. In Piaget theory, the inability of the pre-operational child to take another person's point of view or to understand that symbol can represent other objects. So that's why the children, maybe when stuck in the door like that, they will learn about that door is very hurtful. I don't want to get stuck again in the door because the door is very angry to me. I can get a very pain situation because I stuck with the door. They really understand that door is the symbol that will give her or will give him a pain situation. They will represent the door is very hard or very painful things for their self. Okay, that's called egocentrism. Okay, next slide. And for the next stage is a concrete operational stage. Next slide, please. In Piaget theory, the stage of cognitive development about from the age 6 until 11 years of age, and during which children gain the mental skills that let them think logically about the concrete events. So they will understand about the conservation, they will understand about another point of view, and not only think about their self. Next slide. Okay, for the conservation, the principle which Piaget believed to be a part of concrete operational reasoning. The properties such as mass, volume, and number remain the same. The children with the 6 until 11 or 12 years old now learn to understand about the difference of the mass, volume, and number. And despite change in the forms of object, we can learn from the next slide, please. Now, this is the conservation. 2 glasses of the milk and 1 bottle of the milk. Okay, next slide, please. The mother pour one of the glass of milk to 1 long glass. And after that, children will learn about, the mother will asking her about which one have the more volume or have the high volume rather than another. So the children or this baby or these children will choose this long, very long glass, have the more volume than the another glass. Yeah, next slide. Yeah, we can see in this slide types of conservation tasks. Tests of various types of conservation. Type of conservation for the first slide is liquid. Initial presentation, 2 equal glasses of liquid. We call it milk maybe in this glass. And for the transformation, pour 1 into a taller, narrower glass. And after that, the question, which glass contains more? And pre-operational child will answer the taller one, because the taller one is the taller than another glass. That's why she will choose the taller one, because they will see, or the children see, that the taller one have the more volume, big volume than the another smaller glass. And for the number, 2 equal lines of checkers, crackers, and after that the transformation, increase spacing, give the space between one of them in one line. And the question can be asked, which line has more checkers? And after that, the pre-operational child will be answered the longer one. Yeah, they will learn about, because they see that the line is more longer, they will think that the checkers with the longer line will have more checkers than the shorter line. Another that is a matter. 2 equals balls of clay. And after that, squeeze 1 ball into a long thin shape, and the mother or another adult will ask, which piece has more clay? The pre-operational child will be answered the long one, because they see the long one is more have the clay rather than the smaller one. And after that, for the length, 2 sticks of equal length, move 1 stick to another place, and we can ask which stick is longer. And the pre-operational child will answer the one that is farther to the right. Yeah. So maybe with this example, you can learn about how pre-operational child will answer this task. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so the last stage is a formal operational stage. Next slide. In Piaget theory, the stage of cognitive development beginning about the age of 12. Maybe this is start from the junior high school, right? And during which people begin to think logically about the abstract concepts and form strategies about things they may not have experienced. And these children can solve hypothetical problems, what if, and the problems. Next slide. Yeah, next slide, please. Now, this is the Piaget stage of cognitive development. And for the first, we can call it sensory motor, and the second is pre-operational, and the third is constraint operational, and the last is formal operational. For the formal operational, the key development events is abstract logic. They can understand about the abstract logic. That's why we can give them the hypothesis like what if the situation? What if we go in the rainy season? Oh, we will get wet. Potential for mature moral reasoning. So we will go to another PowerPoint, Mr. Labe. We will stop here. We will go to another PowerPoint. So end this slide.
Oh, no slides, no?
No. Next slide. So that's 4 stages of the cognitive development, and you need to learn by yourself, because we will have the discussion related with this situation later when I finish to give you information about the motor development. So could you help me to share screen about the motor development?
Ya, tadi sudah dijelaskan ya, jadi bahwa teori perkembangan kognitif Norwegian Piaget itu ada 4 tahapan ya. Jadi sensor motoris, kemudian ada operasional konkret, dan operasional formal. Nah, ini perlu dipahami adik-adik apakah. Nah, nanti kaitannya dengan bagaimana adik-adik mengembangkan learning material ya. Jadi adik-adik akan berada pada level anak-anak yang konkret operational concrete ya. Di sana di level anak-anak elementary school ya. Di sana pembelajaran bagaimana menghadirkan, jadi memulai menanamkan hal-hal yang sifatnya abstrak dari hal-hal yang sifatnya konkret. Nah, itu alasan kenapa in the first class in the kelas 1 ya. Jadi di kelas 1 we learn from the concrete object like a stick, like a ball, like a yang memang benar di sekitar. Misalkan mengajarkan tentang konsep jumlah. Nah, jadi kita biasanya diminta untuk membawa Bu Nice mungkin di eranya disuruh membawa lidi mungkin ya. Nah, lidi mungkin kalau kalian mungkin masih ya di kelereng, lidi, sempoa. Nah, itu tuh menunjukkan bahwa satu ini dipresentasikan dari benda ini, dua dan seterusnya. Kemudian mengajarkan juga konsep-konsep abstrak dari benda-benda yang konkret. Ya, misalkan penjumlahan dari lidi yang, nah itu untuk membantu mengembangkan bagaimana pola berpikir secara abstrak. Nah, nanti kalau setelah dibiasakan, kemudian kognitifnya mengalami peningkatan sampai di level nanti di SMP, kalian mungkin sudah bisa berpikir secara abstrak itu dan tidak perlu lagi menggunakan benda-benda konkret sebagai untuk istilahnya apa ya Bu? Menyimpulkan atau apa. Jadi kalau misalkan ditanya 10 tambah 10 udah ngerti 10 yang dimaksud apa, tambah 10 yang dimaksud apa. Jadi nggak perlu pakai jari kaki, jari tangan, atau jari kaki temannya, atau yang lainnya. Jadi sudah ada di kepala lah istilahnya. Nah itu. Ya, seperti itu Bu Nice ya. That's right, ya. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. So we will move to the next slide.
Mm-hmm.
We will talk about the identified typical developmental stage, including gross and fine motor development. So gross is related to motorik kasar. Gross motor development is perkembangan motorik kasar, and fine motor development is perkembangan motorik halus. Gross for kasar, fine for halus. Okay. And we will talk about the 4 years old until 12 years old because you will give the education for this age of the children. So next slide, please. So for the developmental milestone for 4 to 5 years old, for the gross motor is movement. Ya, pergerakan, motorik kasarnya pergerakan, stands on one foot for 10 seconds or longer. Hops and somersault and swings and climbs, and after that may be able to skip. So for the 5 until 5 years old children, the gross motor skills related with the movement, yeah. The example is like in this screen, and after that, next slide, please. And 4 until 5 years old, hand and finger skills fine motor is related with the copies, triangle, and other geometric patterns, and draws person with body, prints some letters, dresses and undresses without assistance, and usually cares for own toilet needs. So for the fine motor related to hand and finger skill, the 4 until 5 years old children can do the daily activity like dresses and undresses, draw the person, cares for own toilet needs. That's why the toilet training starting in this old. Okay.
Ini motorik kasar dan motorik halus ya, Bu Nice ya.
Ya.
Jadi ini biasanya diajarkan di apa istilahnya preschool ya?
Ya, preschool.
Ya, preschool ya. Jadi terus. Nah ini alasan kenapa di kegiatan pembelajaran di preschool itu more activity with the body, yeah, with the hand, foot, finger, dan anything. Seperti ini ya, jadi main jungkat-jungkit, kemudian bermain bola dan segala macam. Jadi banyak aktivitas yang menggunakan gerak tubuhnya. Jadi ini tujuannya tidak hanya untuk bermain ya, jadi untuk melatih motorik kasarnya, berlari, berlompat, kemudian istilahnya berjalan seperti itu. Nah, karena ini akan menjadi support nantinya untuk mereka mampu mengembangkan motorik halusnya, begitu ya. Jadi ya kenapa ini alasan I think why in the preschool preschool many activity with the apa istilahnya berkreasi ya. Jadi membuat creativity yes with the dengan membuat apa seperti ini, ada plastisien, figur, kemudian memindahkan wall ball ya. Wall balls name the object.
Moving the object to another place.
Ya, isi tujuannya adalah untuk melatih motorik halusnya, koordinasi gerak ya. Jadi bukan tanpa alasan kenapa permainan-permainan ini diberikan. Ya. Nah, jadi mungkin bisa jadi salah satu alasan kenapa tulisan saya jelek, mungkin karena dulu kurang melatih motorik halusnya di sini ya. Ya, jadi menulis merupakan juga salah satu, menggambar Bu Nisi ya. Salah satu activity to improve the fine motor skills. Yeah, next slide. Yeah.
Okay, for the next slide is related with the situation for the positive tips to do by the mother or parents or the teacher. Continue to read to your child and include it on your daily schedule. That's why children in this age, like 4 until 5 years old, can help you to do another like simple course like moving objects. Sometimes we can ask, hey baby, please take my handphone, or hey baby, please help me to close the door, like that, because the children try to help with simple course, and after that encourage your child to play with other children and talk about the value of good friends. That's why from the playing activities they will get many positive benefits or positive value related with how they can do the socialization and interaction with each other.
Oke, ya. Jadi kegiatan-kegiatan positif ini bukan tanpa alasan ya. Jadi misalkan ini secara membantu mengerjakan pekerjaan rumah ya, atau course ya. Jadi bukan tujuannya kita ingin menjadikan anak kita sebagai babu ya, atau adik-adik sebagai kita. Tapi ini ada hal yang penting yang diajarkan di sini ya. Bagaimana mereka memanajemen dirinya, kemudian peduli kepada lingkungannya, kemudian termasuk aktivitas lain, bagaimana mereka belajar mengatur waktunya, schedule waktunya, kemudian termasuk mengembangkan aspek lain ya, misalkan seperti ini ya, mampu bersosialisasi ya. Di sini juga akan mengembangkan aspek emosionalnya, sosialnya juga dikembangkan di sini. Jadi istilahnya saya lupa dulu ada istilahnya, jadi anak umur sekian kita jadikan babu, kemudian umur sekian kita jadikan apa istilahnya, sebelumnya kita jadikan bos, kemudian kita jadikan babu, setelah umur sekian kita jadikan teman, seperti itu. Nah, saya lupa seperti itu. Jadi itulah posisi orang tua dalam mengasuh anaknya. Ini Bu Nice sudah berpengalaman ini dengan 4 ya Bu Nice ya, 4. Oh belum ya?
Just 3 children.
Oh just 3 ya. Saya kira to be continue.
No. Stop.
Ya. Dan saya juga banyak belajar. Jadi kalian mendapatkan banyak, tidak hanya informasi about who to teach children at elementary school, but the information can make you to learn about next step of your life to ready be parents, like to be parents ya. Termasuk tidak hanya yang cewek, yang cowok juga penting. Nah, jadi belajar di sini. Nah, ini penting karena anak yang hebat itu tidak dimulai dari sekolah ya, tetapi dimulai dari keluarga. Nah, keluarga yang hebat, yang parentingnya bagus, itu akan menghasilkan anak soleh. Tidak dari sekolah yang hebat, karena sekolah itu sudah mendapatkan, istilahnya kita bilang barang yang sudah jadi. Tapi sebelum itulah, nah jadi orang tua yang berpendidikan, yang tahu tentang parenting, bagaimana parenting yang bagus, itu sangat sangat diharapkan untuk menghasilkan anak-anak juga yang bagus juga kan begitu. Oke, selanjutnya.
Okay, for the next developmental milestones is from 6 until 7 years old. The motor skills is related with use one hand consistently for fine motor tasks. That's why the children start from the 6 years old can do the writing with the one hand, maybe a left or a right hand to do writing in the book like that. So they will also interested in games with rules and butt leg skills. Yeah, sometimes they will try to learn how to do the football or how to do the basketball, but maybe leg skill because their condition for the motor skill is not related good rather than the older children. They also try to use a fork and knife together to cut soft foods. That's why the children in this years old sorry, try to do the cooking activity, like masak-masakan.
Mrs. Chu is the age ideal for learn about a role, ya? Yeah?
Yes.
To 7 years, oke. Okay.
Yeah.
Jadi belajar tentang aturan ya?
Yeah, and get dressed by themselves,
ya,
including fasteners.
Etika segala macam.
Ya.
Apa yang boleh dan apa yang tidak boleh dilakukan. Nah, ini penting ya, karena kalau masa-masa ini lewat ya akan lebih sulit mengajarkan ya. Nah, jadi nanti mungkin di tahap materi berikutnya akan ada materi tentang tahap-tahap perkembangan, tugas-tugas perkembangan. Nah, di sana akan dijelaskan lebih rinci, termasuk ini nanti akan lebih dirincikan lagi tentang tugas-tugas yang mereka harus lalui di tahapan tertentu. Karena kalau itu tidak mereka lalui, maka akan berpengaruh kepada tugas di tahapan berikutnya. Oke. Nah, silakan.
This is the positive tips for the 6 until 7 years old. Help your children develop a sense of responsibility. Yeah, ask them to help with household tasks. Before, for the 4 until 5 years old, you can ask the simple help from the children. But for the 6 until 7 years old, you can ask them to help with household tasks, like please help me to take the dry clothes.
Yeah, clothes. Yeah.
Okay. Please help me to washing something like
washing motor. Yeah. Jadi
and
kalau kalian
respecting others and helping people in need, and letting others go first or finishing a task before going out to play. This is the responsibility.
Ya, jadi kalian belajar itu di tahap ini ya, di umur ini 6-7 tahun itu sudah diajarkan. Jadi kalau siapa yang masih cuci baju sendiri misalkan di sini, nah bisa angkat tangan. Oke, raise hand. Oke, berarti kalian masih belum move on dari umur 6-7 tahun ya. Oke, jadi kalau masih dicuciin bajunya oleh orang tua. Oke. Nah, termasuk bagaimana ya respect dengan orang lain ya, respect dengan orang lain, peduli. Nah, ini penting diajarkan ya. Jadi dengan temannya, dengan orang yang lebih tua, sopan santun itu penting diajarkan. The letting other go first or finishing the task before going out to play. Ya, jadi menyelesaikan tanggung jawab dulu. Nah, jadi mana kewajibannya? Jadi belajar tentang hak dan kewajiban ya. Jadi ini dia harus selesaikan dulu, kamu baru boleh melakukan ini. Jadi kapan dia harus bermain, kapan mereka harus mengerjakan kewajibannya. Kembali ke pertanyaan tadi, tidak menjadikan sang anak menjadi pembantu dalam tanda kutip ya, tapi to learn about the management, schedule, activity dalam dalam kesehariannya begitu. Ini melatih kemandirian. Okay,
next slide, please. Yeah. For 8 until 12 years old, the motor skills does well at game sport requiring skill and strength and agility. So that's why children from the 8 until 2 years old, they will do the many extracurricular like karate, taekwondo, basket, badminton, and another thing, because they will have the well skill in the games and sport. And after that, large and fine motor skills becoming highly coordinated. That's why from the age until 12 years old, the writing condition is more better than the older before. And after that, they will try to learn to do the painting and another thing. And preparation for puberty.
Next slide. Ms. Nicho, what the agility for this content is about agility in sport or agility on our life, like this?
Sorry?
The agility, what the main agility in this content? Agility in like misalkan agility saat mereka bermain, yang kita bisa artikan sebagai kelincahan, ketangkasan, atau agility tentang bagaimana ketangkasan atau ketahanan mereka dalam menghadapi masalah.
Okay, this is related with the motor skills.
Oh, motor skills, yes. Okay.
Next slide, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the positive tips is use phrases like you must be proud of yourself rather than I'm proud of you. So the self-esteem more gain in this this age, and encourage positive choices when no one is there to praise their effort. So you can give a try to your children or your student in this age to try to gain their self-esteem or kepercayaan diri. And after that, help your child develop a personal sense of right and wrong. Yeah, this is related with the moral development. And talk specifically about peer pressure and plans to deal with it, because this age is become very related with the puberty condition from the next age. And after that, help your child set individual goals and to think about how to develop skills to accomplish them, because the agility, the ability, and the skill related with the fine and the gross motor skill more developed than the another age. And that's why give them to do the activity freely and independent situation.
Nah, ini penting nih, bagus ini ya. Jadi mungkin beberapa di antara kita jarang mendapatkan parenting seperti ini, Bu Nici ya. Maksudnya jadi bagaimana orang tua mendampingi, menggambarkan, memberikan gambaran tentang masa depannya sehingga dia mampu ya menyiapkan dirinya, goals-nya, to think about the skill apa yang akan saya kembangkan, what the special for my skill. Nah, kemudian juga intinya menyiapkan diri ya ke depan. Jadi sehingga di usia ini mereka sudah tahu ke depan I want to be what ya, who to prepare to be what gitu. Jadi mudah-mudahan saya nggak salah ya belibet ngomongnya. Jadi menyiapkan diri dari awal, dari ya usia SMP SMA ya. Jadi
8 years old until 12 already.
Oke, ya. Jadi menyiapkan diri lebih awal. Jadi sehingga nanti di saat menjadi seperti di awal mungkin pertemuan ya. Jadi saya tanya ini menjadi PGSD ya, karena memang karena memang pilihan sendiri atau berdasarkan jebakan. Jebakannya bisa karena jebakan pacar atau jebakan teman yang karena tidak ingin pisah akhirnya ikut-ikutan. Nah itu. Nah ini hal-hal seperti ini penting untuk diajarkan atau diinikan kepada anak-anak. Oke, next slide.
Okay, next slide please.
Okay. Next slide is
this is the discussion time, yeah. So because this platform cannot make the breakout room, so you can discuss by this big group, yeah. Discuss for 20 minutes about what do you believe is the most ideal environment for a child to progress through Piaget's stage of cognitive development. Ya, jadi lingkungan ideal yang bagaimana yang dibutuhkan untuk membuat anak-anak itu tuh bisa berkembang sesuai dengan tahapan perkembangan kognitifnya Piaget. Or is progression independent of environmental influence? Atau jangan-jangan memang progres terkait dengan perkembangan kognitif itu sebenarnya terlepas dari pengaruh dari lingkungan gitu, nggak ada pengaruhnya lingkungan terhadap perkembangan kognitif. Ya, try to discuss maybe around 10 minutes, ya, not 20 minutes, just 10 minutes, and after that try to explain in this class. Okay. Maybe someone give the opinion, and after that another student will give the feedback, and after that another student try to insist with their opinion, and you can discuss around 10 minutes. Please start now, starting right now.
Oke, silakan. Maybe you can discuss with your friend and beside you or in front you.
Yeah.
Beside you on. Yeah. Maybe with your parent you can diskusi, no problem. Yes.
Paham kan ya tugasnya ya, jadi silahkan berdiskusi atau buka mic-nya, open your mic, and after that try to answer this question and give your opinion.
Can I end the slide?
Yeah, please,
Mr.
Labe, thank you.
Ya, jadi kalian bisa lihat lebih banyak. Ya. Silakan diskusi, open your mic and open your mouth ya. Not just mic. Ya.
Okay, what do you think about that, the statement that environment really have the impact for the cognitive development, or environment doesn't have the impact for the cognitive development?
Maybe one of you all to lead discuss ya. Biasanya Korti jadi korbannya nih kan diskusi. Okay.
Excuse me, Miss.
Yeah, okay, KDR Ramayani, please.
I want to ask you, can you repeat the topic discussion today in Bahasa, please?
Okay, in Bahasa. I already talk to you all before. Okay. Jadi, apakah lingkungan atau kondisi lingkungan yang bagaimana yang dibutuhkan untuk membuat tahapan perkembangan kognitif menurut Piaget itu tuh bisa terwujud dengan baik gitu.
Berkembang secara ideal lah begitu di masing-masing di 4 tahapan.
Atau jangan-jangan tidak ada pengaruh lingkungan sebenarnya gitu. Yang mana menurutmu? Apakah perlu suatu lingkungan yang sangat ideal yang seperti apa yang membuat akhirnya bisa berkembang secara maksimal perkembangan kognitifnya? Atau jangan-jangan dirimu lebih memilih kayaknya nggak ada pengaruhnya deh, Miss, gitu, karena bla 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 bla, gitu ya.
Jadi,
thank you, Miss.
Ya. Jadi begini, jadi menurut kalian apakah tahapan perkembangan menurut Piaget itu dipengaruhi oleh lingkungan atau tidak? Ya. Nah, jika pertanyaannya iya, lingkungan seperti apa yang ideal yang membantu tahapan-tahapan perkembangan itu? Tetapi jika tidak jawabannya, jadi lingkungan tidak mempengaruhi nih, jadi mereka terjadi begitu saja sesuai mungkin dengan kalian alasan tertentu, jadi alasannya apa? Ya, itu ya Miss C ya. Oke, jadi lingkungan iya berpengaruh atau tidak? Kalau iya, lingkungan seperti apa yang ideal? Oke. Bisa lihat banyak muka-muka yang baru ya, atau memori saya tidak bagus. VOC baru ya? Tidak ya? Tidak ya?
Memang di sini.
Memang di sini ya? Oke.
Ya. Excuse me, Miss and Mr. I want to try to answer the discussion.
Okay, please.
Oke, silakan.
My name is Vida, and my opinion is I do believe that environment have a really big influence for the child development, because a child grow with the environment, and the environment that child needs to develop their development is a caring and loving environment, because when someone or the child feeling love, they will feel really comfort, and they feel free to express what they want to know and what they want to learn about. And environment has a really big influence, because with the environment, the child will learn many things, will learn many new things. That's why I do believe that environment have a really big influence for the cognitive development. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Sri Widawati. So your opinion is the environment can give the effect for the cognitive development, because when the children grow in the positive environment, giving the care and love and concern to the children, so they will trust for the environment and try to increase their cognitive development, right? Then, okay, thank you, Wida. Next, Niwayan Astri Antari, what do you think about the situation?
Okay, thank you for the time. Actually, I really agree about Vida's opinion that said the environment really gives a big impact or a big impact to increase cognitive children. So the reason that I say that, because as we know, children is really need a supportive environment, like the Materi said before, that we say that we really proud of them, or we really love them, or anything else. But I think one thing that we must think before is we must support them, but don't make them to become a pampers children, or in Indonesia we call it manja. I think that's all. Please. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Astri. So Astri and Wida vote for good environment for the good cognitive development. Okay, next, Juwita sayang. Juwita, namamu bagus sekali, Juwita. Please.
Thanks, Miss. Okay, in my opinion, the most ideal environment to support a child progressing is the family environment. Why is that? Because the family is the first place for a child to develop and learn. In addition, the school or friendship environment also affect. If the environment in the child's friendship is positive, the child will develop well and become a structured person for his future. And if we can find out what the purpose of the child. Thank you, Miss. I'm sorry because my English is not good.
No need to say sorry that I told you before from the previous class, okay? We all learn with English because we are not the foreigner who have the first language is English, yeah? This is our third language. The second language is Bahasa Bali. Okay, so it's okay for you. Okay, 3 votes for the environment giving the good effect for the good cognitive, and Juwita give more explanation because families, school, and the peer group or the peer support will give the children a more trust and more confidence with their condition related with the cognitive development. Okay, next is Sabina Andari.
Hello, Miss.
Hello.
Okay, in my opinion, I agree with both of my friends, Wida, Astri, and Juwita, that environment have big impact to child development. So according to the Piaget,
Piaget, baby.
Piaget. Okay,
Yeah.
I forgot.
Sabrina, you can remedy.
Sabina Piaget.
Sabina Piaget.
According to the Piaget, all children have progress through to the stage at their own time. So in a way, projection is in theory independent of environmental influence. However, Piaget's theory also suggests that although the process is predictable, some individual will stay in one stage or another due to the environment in which they grow up. So those growing up in positive and nurturing environments will most likely progress quicker through each stage. Miss.
Okay, Sabina. Sabina talk about that even though the Piaget cognitive development stage is already fixed, but still need the nurturance thing. If the children stay in the good environment and the positive environment and supporting environment, so the progression become a good, even though the stage is a fix like that, right, Sabina?
Yes, Miss.
Okay, still 5 votes for the environment. So is there any student choose or vote for the no need to have the good environment?
Maybe can give a claim if you disagree for this opinion. No? Yeah. I think all of you agree, yeah?
Okay, so all the people or all the students who raise hand in this class do agree with environment really have the effect for the progress of the cognitive development, right? Okay. 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 What about you, Mr. Labe? Do you agree or disagree?
Yes, I agree, Ms. Nietzsche. Saya pernah membaca ya, mudah-mudahan tidak salah ya. Jadi environment lingkungan itu memang mempengaruhi perkembangan seseorang ya. Mungkin salah satu dari kalian pernah membaca seorang anak yang dibesarkan oleh binatang ya, simpanse itu apa ya? Jadi di India ya, jadi tingkah lakunya ya mengikuti siapa yang mengasuhnya begitu. Itu mungkin contoh sederhananya Bu Ence ya. Jadi lingkungan memang mempengaruhi perkembangan seseorang. Bagaimana dengan Bu Nietzsche? Agree or disagree?
Okay, so like another students told before and Mr. Labe said before that, of course, environment giving the effect for the cognitive development for the human or especially for the children. But we also have the nature, yeah, nature related with the genetic.
Okay.
Yeah, genetic related with the potential that already children bring starting from the newborn until the children age. But even though they have the nature with the good genetic, when he or her nurturing in the bad environment, is it will be give the bad effect to for the gaining the good cognitive development. That's why nature and nurture, ya, kondisi genetik itu nature, and nurture proses pengasuhan, lingkungan, giving the same effect for the many development aspects for the human being. Ya, jadi not only environment but also nature, like a genetic. Jadi kalau orang tuanya pintar ya anaknya biasanya dari hukum alam ya, hukum biologi pasti pintar gitu ya, terjemahannya nature itu. Or maybe the potential that already they bring from the early condition, like mother when the pregnant with this baby, give the more multivitamin and also asam folat and also more a healthy food for the baby, and after that the baby get the good good nutrition starting from the pregnancy, infancy until they growing up to the children age. Ya, jadi memang walaupun lingkungan sangat mendukung untuk perkembangan kognitif, namun ketika nature-nya nggak bagus ya, misalnya hamil nih ibu-ibu, tapi nggak memperhatikan gizinya, gitu. Kalau mau distimulasi dengan baik pun, tapi gizinya nggak oke, makanya ada yang namanya stunting ya. Jadi ada yang namanya karena kurang gizi, akhirnya tumbuh kembangnya nggak bagus, pertumbuhan berat badan dan tinggi badan yang nggak bagus berpengaruh kepada perkembangan otak, begitu. Jadi ini merupakan suatu situasi yang sangat seimbang harusnya, nature and nurture. Ya, so when you for the next step will have plan to have the baby, so not only giving the baby stimulation, but also prepare all the nutrition related with the growth development. Okay? Okay. So, Mr. Labo, do you have any opinion before we close the door?
Close the door. Ya, benar ya. Jadi, mungkin seperti yang saya kita disinggung juga sedikit ya. Jadi, termasuk dipengaruhi oleh juga genetika, termasuk hal lain juga genetika nanti bisa disupport oleh kondisi orang tua juga, kemudian faktor gizi seperti yang saya katakan tadi ya. Jadi saat dalam kandungan mendapatkan suplemen yang cukup, sumber makanan yang bagus ya, jadi kualitasnya bagus, itu juga akan mendukung, termasuk kondisi psikologi orang tua juga, Bu Nice ya, juga akan Oke. What's the psychology of the mother is same is the environment atau itu faktor itu termasuk lingkungan?
Yeah.
Atau genetic?
Related with the environment, because the psychological condition of the mother is very have the correlation with the environment condition. Like the mother who are pregnant, she doesn't get the good support from her husband.
Yes.
Husband is the environment, right?
Yeah, environment. Yeah.
The psychological condition become mentally breakdown, feel depressed, and the fetus in this belly will feel the same things, will feel the anxiousness, will feel the scary and the bad condition, and that's the environment relation with the condition of the psychological of the mother.
Ya, jadi itu ya. Jadi kondisi psikologi orang ibu termasuk juga faktor lingkungan Bu ya, Nicia di sana. Termasuk juga bapak-bapak di sini juga menjadi faktor ya. It's the one reason why in Bali the husband, if the wife in the pregnant, yes, yeah.
Yeah, pregnancy.
Allowed to cut a hair, so the husband Jelek itu apa ya?
Oh yeah, it's a bad.
Bad.
So yeah, the husband in Bali will have the wife who are pregnant. So the rules is the husband doesn't need to cut their hair to make not
good.
look handsome. Yeah, like Mr. Labe did last year. Yeah, he
The
have
ugly
very
husband, yeah. Yes, yeah.
long hair, very long
Yeah,
hair,
long
like
hair.
lion.
Yes. But after my son birth, yeah, I cut my hair. Why I still look ugly, not handsome.
Maybe because your nature.
Oh ya, nature, yes, it's nature. Okay, Anda sungguh jujur sekali. Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Sorry.
Why is condition if the husband like Chico Jericho, he
Yes,
have
Jericho.
long hair, so look good. Why like?
Because the nature.
Oh, nature. Oke.
Nature, ya.
Oke, ya. Jadi adik-adik ya itu, walaupun itu joke ya, itu sangat ini ya. Jadi kita bisa bicara dari istilahnya bahasa kerennya dalam Inggris itu adalah kearifan lokal. What to spell in English?
Indigenous belief.
Okay, indigenous. Yeah, what did I say?
Indigenous belief.
Indigenous belief, ya. Oke, that.
Indigenous
Jadi,
belief.
ya, beberapa dari kearifan-kearifan lokal itu memiliki nilai yang bagus ya, adik-adik ya. Nah, kita tidak melihat dari sisi miti ya. Nah, jadi mitologi itu tapi sorry. Dari sisi mitos, tetapi lebih kepada unsur pengetahuannya. Nah, seperti contohnya tadi ya, sainsnya. Jadi itu lebih kepada menjaga bagaimana perasaan si ibu agar tetap nyaman, agar tetap dalam kondisi psikologi yang baik, berpikir bahwa kalau gondrong suaminya terlihat jelek,
tidak menarik,
pengecualian ya, tidak nakal begitu, sehingga secara psikologi nyaman, aman. Nah, seperti itu. Nah,
but also we will need to remember about the temperament. Temperament is a nature.
Oh, nature.
Yeah, temperament is related with the affection condition. People who have the type A personality, we will have the difficult temperament. So they will express the feeling not freely like another person. So that's why they will repress the feeling or not talk to each other when they have the stress. And this is related with the temperament. So maybe for the social emotional development, we will talk about the temperament. So you can learn more deeply about the psychological condition. The psychological condition not only related with the environment, but also for the nature, related with the temperament, related with the trait and personality. Ya.
Ya, kalau memang sudah bawaannya ngegas, memang sulit berarti ya.
Kayak saya terus. Ini, maunya pengen ngegas gitu, tapi batuk terus susah mau ngomong gitu loh.
Walaupun maunya ngomong baik-baik, tapi gaspol juga ya.
Iya, gaspol juga gitu.
Okay. This next discussion. Okay,
yeah.
Oke, baik. Kira-kira ada pertanyaan lain? Any question?
We still have one. Maybe we will open just one question.
One
maybe
question,
from the students who are male ya. Yang
male.
Cowok dong ngomong.
Oh, okay, male ya, not milk ya. Okay, male.
Not milk, male student please ya, boy.
Yes.
There are many male student here like Putu Mahadipta, Iwayan Eka Agus Prayoga, Ikadek Dharma Saspanya, and Imade Punia Dharmika. Please talk in this class so you can learn to talk in English.
Oke, silakan tunjukkan pesonamu. Oke, jadi all of you don't worry about your speech ya. Like me, I in bahasa Inggris not very well, but kalau orang Bali bilang pongahang aja ya. In learn situation, but seperti yang dikatakan Bu Nici tadi ya, it's not mother language, is the. Jadi ya bicara saja, setidaknya ada keinginan ya Bu Nici. Karena Bu Nici sudah sering menjebak saya dalam situasi untuk belajar terus. Nah ini saya jadi semangat ya itu.
Yeah, next year you will be a keynote speaker for the ICTES maybe.
Oke, luar biasa. Oke.
Okay, male student, please give the question or give your opinion or giving the closing remarks for this class maybe.
One of boy in the class can ask something for Miss Nisha.
Maybe not the question is okay.
Yeah.
Just
Mungkin
closing
mau curhat
remarks.
silakan.
Yeah, like a summary is okay.
Okay. Ya, mungkin ada yang mau menyimpulkan, mungkin apa dari diskusi yang kita sudah lakukan tadi, silakan. Ya. Karena waktu Bu Nici tidak banyak ya, ini sudah akhir jam tayangnya. To come back to the reality life ya.
Reality life, taking care of the children.
Maya life ya. Come back to reality life with a children ya.
Yeah.
Same like me ya. My sons call me bapak-bapak gitu. Seperti ada yang mengetuk-ngetuk. Time is over. No time for me to playing with you gitu.
Yeah, just one person from the male student just giving the closing remarks like, okay, I do understand with your explanation. So we close the door. Like that is okay.
Okay. Maybe can spell ya. I agree of what you speak and what you dispense. Okay, gitu aja selesai dah.
Yeah, it's okay. Just try to feel confidence to speak in English. Yeah, not like do the observation.
Hello.
Okay, Dharma.
Hey, Dharma. Please. Okay, bro. Lanjut, bro.
Can I just like I don't have any question or something like, can I put this icon to end, like let's end this icon or something like that? You mean like that?
Yeah, it's okay.
So we've learned about Piaget theory, and it's so fun. It's so much fun for learning Piaget theory, and I don't know what I'm going to talk about, so I just I'm sorry.
I just wanna feel. I just
wanna feel. Oh, baby. Benar ya? Salah ya? Salah. Okay.
I just what kind I just want? I just feel. I just think. I just bored. I just
feel like this econ today is very inspiring me to teaching student of our maybe next year, next 2 year or next 3 year, I can get a kid so I can teach them about how to be a good person in their life. So that's all about my opinion. Is that
okay? It's a dot or comma.
A dot.
Okay, dot. Okay, big applause to Dharma.
Yeah. Learn to be a good person to prepare a good teacher. Yeah.
Yes.
I continue this conclusion. Keren kayaknya gue.
Yeah, right. Okay,
Thank
Mr.
you, Dharma,
your time to close this class.
Last speech for this night ya, sudah malam ya. Ya, sudah gelap di sini.
Yeah. This evening.
evening. Oke.
Yeah.
Sudah ya. Kita ngapain dari tadi?
Sudah.
Oke. Sebentar, saya mau tanya ininya dulu, Bu Kortinya dulu. Bu Korti sudah ya? Ya benar ya, Bu Korti.
Yes, sir.
Bu Korti.
Yes, sir.
Oke. Silakan Bu Nici.
Okay, so we will close the class. I'm really happy that can meet with you even from the Zoom meeting, but I learned that you all have the good intention to join this class, and you learn and observe very well because you can speak a very really and very good with the English, and with your opinion is very good too. So I believe that you can get more knowledge when you try to practice to check or observe this PAC, cognitive development, with your friend in the student from the elementary school to do the validation of this theory. So we will meet each other for the 2 weeks later, and I hope my colleague is already fine and I can speak more energetic rather than today. Okay, thank you, Mr. Labe.
Thank you, Miss Nici. See you next meeting ya.
Thank you, Miss.
Thank you, Miss.
And Mr. Laba.
Okay.
Thank you for the day, Miss.